Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome along to the first round of the SRF Weekend Warriors, presented by RaceVoice, coming to you from Tsukuba, live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Tim Cox and I'm joined by the legendary Jonathan Grabowski, who is not only my co-commentator but will also be running the cameras tonight. Let's join us with around about 5 minutes of qualifying left to run. It's an open qualifying session, so you can see all of our drivers currently out on circuit right now. Followed by that, there will be then a 40-minute race, of which the drivers are restricted to 50% fuel. Now that means that fuel will last approximately 30 minutes, so they will be required to take a mandatory pit stop. It's going to be really, really interesting with that metric thrown into the mix, combined with such a short track and over 40 drivers racing tonight. Jonathan, wow, I just get the feeling in my bones it's going to be spectacular tonight.
Tim, welcome to the wonderful world of SRF Weekend Warriors. I've drinking as our former colleague Jim Hodgson used to be the #1 fan of the series. I have consumed all his Kool-Aid over the past 2 seasons. And this is hands down one of the finest series to watch. You have great racing at the front with our Spec 1 guys. Spec 2 is exciting, and our Masters, granted they're 60 plus, but that doesn't mean they're slow. I mean, looking at last season, we had some great battles where, for example, Marco Pinero, who again, Spec 2 driver, he almost won an overall. And then if we look at someone like, for example, Antonio Reyes, he almost won overall, and he's a Masters class driver. So you don't know what's going to happen. Our returning champ, Aeronam, is back. David Boehm's back. Bobby West, who was hands down probably the most improved driver last year, is here, and we're in for another fun season. Get ready.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be absolutely spectacular, I'm sure. And just to look at the quality of drivers and how competitive this series is, just look at your top three currently within the timing tower right now. The top three covered by less than a tenth of a second. Following from that, we've then got the top five. They're covered by under 0.2 of a second. It is going to be so close tonight, and I'm sure they're going to see a lot of drivers jockeying for position. And as the race comes to a close, there's going to be some desperate moves, maybe, would you say, Jonathan, thrown into the last few corners?
I'd say on a track like this for sure. Last season was really interesting. It was like the slipstreaming season. We had a lot of tracks where guys were able to take advantage of long straight slipstream. This track to start the year with is really interesting because it's very different from what we've experienced. And so I think we're getting, as you said, a lot of desperate measures toward the end, a lot of bang 'em up battles. And the real strategy, Tim, is what comes with the pit stops. Everyone has their own kind of. Some people love pit stops. Some people hate the pit stop strategy. It adds such a really interesting element to this series, and to see kind of all the different things people do. You have someone who will duck in early, someone who's a mid-race person, someone who waits till the very last minute. So you're going to see a lot of overcuts and undercuts, passing-wise, when it comes to the lane.
That obviously just mentioning about those potential people banging doors, as it were, as the perennial phrase is, it's worth mentioning that not only obviously you get points for where you finish within the race, you also pick up an extra 4 points if you finish the race with 0 incident points. So that means you haven't come off track, you haven't hit another driver. If you finish with just 1 incident point, which you pick up for something simple like just go off track slightly once, you then pick up an additional 2 points. Also, the fastest lap, the person with the fastest lap picks up an extra point, and likewise, so does the person who has led the most laps as well. So there's definitely going to be everything to play for tonight, and some extra metrics thrown into the mix, just to make things a bit more interesting. Now, we've got 30 seconds left of qualifying, so those drivers that are at least half a lap around the circuit. So, Bone, one of your drivers just watching right now, that is the only chance to improve, because as soon as it hits the 30-minute mark, there's a closed hard shut. If you're on a lap, it doesn't matter. If you have not completed it, that is it. And I think Bone, he's going to run out of time with half an hour. Will he be able to squeeze it in just before the session ends? Let's find out. Can he improve at all as he comes across the line? And the answer is no. It was a much slower lap from him, so he remains in 6th place, does the German. And we'll just wait for the last few drivers to come around before we then run you through your final grid.
And for those new to the series, get used to names like saying names like Aeronom and David Bohm on a consistent basis. Aeronom was last season's champion. Unbelievable. Yeah. He's a beast. That's one of our colleagues referred to him as a beast, and it's the perfect way to describe him. Nothing phases him. He's won going away. He's won races. Spinning out and then coming back through pit strategy. He's the guy that everyone's going to. But also, David Bohm's been super quick over the past season as well. So I think we're going to see a Bohm, Nom, and Marco Pinero, who's our Spec 2 leader. He is blindingly fast for a Spec 2 guy. So I'd love to talk to Steve Ray later on to see if there's ever been a Spec 2 guy that has won an overall here.
You mentioned about Nom. He's also won the championship in season 3 of 2021. It's not long finished. Also, he last won the championship before that in 2018, where he picked up actually 2 season championships that season, in season 3 and season 4. So he's definitely a driver with skin in the game and pedigree within this championship. So to run you through the grid for the race tonight, Aaron Nom, takes pole with Panero on the front row of the grid with him. Then we've got Naselli with Jonathan Payne on the second row. Dudu Castro has David Bone for company on the third row in 5th and 6th place. Then we've got Fritzscher and West, and then Shuk and Dantas on the 5th row of the grid. Then it's Rice and Vogel who pick up 11th and 12th place. Then Elson, the Brit, has Andalo, the Brazilian, for company in 13th and 14th. Pavini has Dirty with him in 15th, 16th. Stevie Ray, the championship organizer, has John Tusting from Great Britain alongside him on the 9th row of the grid. Then we've got Simpkins and Vogel on the 10th row of the grid with Adam Bradshaw and Misorek alongside him in 21st and 22nd. Then we've got Nunes and Cox in 23rd and 24th. McGuinness has Santiago alongside him for company. Then Piszek and Gradwell. Breen is in 29th with Gibson in 30th. Ida and Jacobson in 31st and 32nd. Then Rodriguez and Kern. And then Cantor and Longin. Then in 33rd, we've got Rodriguez. We can also have mentioned those. It's Cantor and Longin. Then Jin and Mino. Then Rogenbuck and Mick Carr in 39th and 40th. Dobek in 41st. Mitchell, the Swede, in 42nd. And Kepper rounds out your grid in 43rd place. Wow. 43 drivers around an incredibly small, tight circuit. This is going to be really, really interesting. It is a rolling start to get you underway with. Drivers can complete around about half lap with such a small course. They're starting just past the second to last corner along the back straight, if you want to call it. Although it's a very short back straight. And they round the last corner for the first round of the season. Can Aeronome retain his championship as he did back in 2018? Let's find out, because we are going to Tsukuba. Gnome makes a great start there, heading round into turn 1, and Payne, he's running wide just there, and that's going to give Naselli the chance to get past him, and he does, as Payne looking in. A world of pain right now, dropping a couple of places, and that's Bobby West making up a place there. Fast Fritzscher. We've got there's a bit of contact happening further back down the field. If there's few incidents, we'll see if we can bring those up once we've got things settled down here. But we've got Piszek and Santiago battling it out all the way down in 23rd. We've got battles up and down the field. Oh, there's a big accident in the background there. Not too sure who that was, but we've got Gnome just heading off now.
And Marco Panero was in trouble too, but I want to get back to see what happened to the Simpkins. Let's take a look at my phone.
As soon as we can get that replay for you, we'll bring that one up. And right now, already lap 2. Here we go. Those cars looking a bit of damage, you see. That's a nasty little collection of Ford spec races on the outside of turn 3 there. As we said earlier, it's so tight, this circuit, and absolutely anything could happen around here, and it already has. As we've had incidents of fray, and we've got a bit of a pile up in the background there into turn 3. But right now, Gnome is him and Zaselli are pulling clear up the front, getting away from Payne, who's got a gaggle of cars behind him. He's got about 5 cars all lined up, looking to maybe make the move into the last corner, into the slipstream. You can see them all there, just tucked up behind one another. But right now, as they come round to complete the end of lap 3, Gnome is your leader with Naselli, Payne, Bone, Castro, rounding out your top 5 with West, Fritzscher, Dantas, Chuk and Arlo, rounding out your top 10. Let's come hard into the brakes, into turn 1 there. And no one looking to make any moves, Jonathan. They seem to be just happy to be sat behind one another.
It's going to be a wait and see. Everybody's going to settle down, get moving, and then pit stop strategy occurs. That's when we're going to see a lot of things change. But getting back to our Spec 2 guy that we were talking about, Mark Perdera, he must have had like a technology issue or something like that, because maybe he just jumped into the pits and may have had some sort of connection issue. So tough break for the guy in Spec 2 that we were hyping up big time, Mark Perdera.
Right now, just to bring it with the battle with for Spec 2, Castro is currently leading that class right now. He's down in 5th place overall. He's got David Bohm, the German, in front of him. You can see him there, that Castro, that number 73, as he's looking to. We've got Bobby West for company tucked up right behind him and closing that gap up. You see, to come hard onto the brakes into turn 1, this hairpin that seems to go on forever, where you just need to be patient and wait to get onto the accelerator for launching yourself out around that sort of very shallow left-hander and then round into another hairpin, and you're already nearly half the circuit complete there, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's a very short course. It's really difficult. It's twisty. It's tight. You're gonna might have to put the bumper on somebody to complete a pass. There's not a ton of passing zones, but I want to jump in the pack here. We have Val's up and down the field. We're looking at 13th place right here. We've had Doherty, Peter Mizerick, and Stevie Ray all battling for 11th, 12th, and 13th. So that's the fun of this series, Tim. You're gonna find Val's all the way from that.
Like you say, but Stevie Ray, who's getting incredibly close into the second to last corner there, into the hairpin. Hopefully he's looking to carry a bit more momentum as he looks to go to the inside as we ride on board right now with Ray. Looking ahead to Mizerick and Doherty, who are ahead of him, battling it all out over 11th place right now. You can see the gaps within, the timing gaps on the right-hand side of your screen right now. You see right about a second just covering these 3 cars. Now, we've mentioned about obviously the Spec 1 and Spec 2 classes. Now, if you're new to the series, these are defined. The Spec 1 drivers is everyone with an I rating of above 3,000, and the Spec 2 is everyone below 3,000. So it's a nice, easy way to define the drivers in terms of, well, supposedly their skill and ability, but right now Castro is defying all odds, and he's up in 5th place still.
It does happen. You get, just because someone is Spec 2 doesn't mean they're slow, Tim. It's, it's just because maybe they haven't raced long enough, maybe their I rating hasn't been able to get high enough, but we've seen some really fast guys in Spec 2. We've seen even some really, really fast guys in the Masters. Just looking up and down the timing chart, Antonio Race is a guy that we've talked about for the past several seasons. When he's in the Masters division, and he's run up at the front on numerous occasions.
So last time around, Naselli in 2nd place. He set the fastest lap of the race so far at 102.89. And just looking at it, John Payne in 3rd. He wasn't too far behind him in terms of a lap time, as those guys are sort of close, starting to bunch up a little bit together. But right now, I think this could, well, as we've seen previously within the series, it could go absolutely any way, to be fair, Jonathan.
Absolutely. It's still early. We're only 6 minutes into this 40-lap race, and we have pit stops. Anything could happen. I'm really impressed with Naselli so far. Naselli usually kind of starts 5th, 6th, and then kind of works his way up, but he's really right on Aeronom's bumpers.
Jonathan, how much do you think pit strategy will play a part tonight? Obviously, we see lots of cars, just tucked up behind one another, as Naselli just showing the front nose of his Ford Spec Racer there to Nom.
It's going to play a ton. The best drivers, the guys who always win, we saw Aeronom last season, Austin Winter the season before, they're the masters of pit strategy. They just have this extra sense of kind of when to go. Aeronom last year talked about how he had strategies in mind going into races, and then sometimes, depending on what happened, he would, deviate from that strategy. But the best guys are the guys who are not only are they fast, but also have an idea of, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to pit, how much fuel I'm going to take.
Just looking a little bit further down the field, Mino has managed to get past Laughlin for 26th place. As also there's another more. Mino's made up another place. He's got past Bob Kern for 25th. So Mino definitely a driver on the move right now, picking up a couple of places within a lap. As
yeah, he's up 13 spots.
Yeah, absolutely spectacular start. There's quite a few drivers who've made really strong starts. Another one is Ida, the Italian, up in 18th. He's up 13 places as well. So they're holding the joint title for amount of places gained so far tonight. But with all to play for, like you say, we're not even reached quarter race distance yet. Everything can change at the drop of the hat. As it's just having a little look. Laughlin's managed to get past Bob Kernford down in 26th. And just taking that place back from him.
Take a look at that pass.
Here we go. So this is going to be down into turn 4, into the hairpin. Got Laughlin in the background. So easy to do in these cars, you know, very sort of lightweight. You've got a lot of weight in the rear with them being rear-engined as well, and it's so easy to do within them. So Aeronome is still your leader with just over 8 laps gone. He's got Naselli behind him for second place. We've got Payne in third, Bohm in fourth, and Castro still holding in there. The Spec 2 driver still in 5th place, keeping hold of that position. As we just look back to Bob Kern now, number 916. Oh, that was very, very close for the driver who'd spun out. It was on the side there. Kern nearly getting caught up in that incident, and he'll be breathing a definite sigh of relief, but due to that, it's allowed him to catch up a bit on Idra and Laughlin, who are ahead of him. The two Italian drivers, as they round the last corner right now. As I got a bit nervous there. I could see that I thought Noon was dropping down my timing sheet, but I think it's just where he has picked up a sector. There we go.
Jumped into the pits, a few others, so pits about to start.
Maybe some drivers just looking to get out into some clean air. Also, Jesus Rodriguez and also John Tusting heading to the pits. We've had around about 6 drivers so far electing to take their pit stops very early on, and maybe then go for the long game and run it through to the end of the race. But right now we've got the Castro. He's up into 4th place, managing to climb the order and looking very, very racy. And as he's on to the rear end now of the German Bohm, who's ahead of him. And currently that's remaining place on the overall podium. I'd be interested to see whether Castro can get the move done and get himself onto the podium tonight, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's definitely strong potential. But getting back to, and this is why I love, thank you for everyone in the chat. Yangshi Lin, who's one of our fast drivers this year, who's not racing, he's been Daytona race finished 3rd overall in a race. So it does happen that someone outside Spec 1 does finish on the overall box. And it looks like Marco Pinera did have some sort of connection issue. He posted in the chat as well. So guys, thanks for watching. We miss you. We hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, St. Pinero, they're saying I was fast here at Tsukuba, and he'd be absolutely disappointed that he's not able to continue, and he's had to retire the car. That's a real disappointment for him. But we resume back with this battle for 3rd with Castro, who's swarming all over the back of Bohm right now. But he needs to be a little bit careful, because just looming in the background is Bobby West, who we ride on board with right now. And there's Richard as well behind them. And these guys, you know, I think it's all going to come down to, Jonathan, one small mistake from someone, and that's what's going to change the outcome of this little battle right now.
Bobby's has run really well this season. We talked last season, he was our most, if the commentators and broadcast had a vote, he would win most improved driver. He got stronger and stronger as the year progressed. So great to see him, you know, kind of starting the season from where he left off last one.
Definitely. And we see right now they're closing up even tighter, this pack of 4. You can see the gaps visibly starting to shrink up right now. I think maybe there's 1 or 2 of them who may be thinking, you know, to drivers ahead, that they're maybe a little bit quicker, may well potentially look to jump out and make a pit stop just to break themselves out into some clear air. To then maybe get the undercut on one of the other drivers and elevate them up at maybe a position or 2. But ahead of them, Gnome and Naselli, they're almost checking out really. They're 5 seconds up the road from this battle of 4 cars and just sticking with each other and just looking to extend that gap, Jonathan.
This is a theme you'll see. You'll see in Spec Racer 4 in this series, that you'll see a group of guys. Usually you'll see Florence Arabian up there as well. Some David Gaspers in previous years. As a group that kind of, it's a 4 or 5 car train that just kind of takes off from everyone else, and then they kind of just let the dust settle after pit stops. We're getting a smaller condensed Cliff Notes version of that today with Norman and Naselli. But you know, they've been. Oh, Naselli's in trouble.
Oh. As they're clearing around the back marker there, as that comes through the train of cars that we had for 3rd place originally of Bowman Castro, Western, Fritcher. And Naselli has gone from a comfortable 2nd place and now finds himself down in 6th.
The commentator's curse.
It is definitely, it is alive and well here on Apex Racing TV. It just seemed to be everything. The back marker, I'm not too sure who was number 213 there, but just clearing around seems to be fine. Oh no! But obviously he saw Aero Gnome and maybe just thought it was the one car.
No.
And moved across, and there was Naselli, and all of a sudden there was contact, and it's really shaped the outcome of this race potentially for Naselli, who's like I say, found himself down now in 6th place.
Maybe work some interesting strategy to get back up there. The guys are running well. Give a shout out to Ed Doherty, who's our Masters class leader, who's running really strongly here in 10th overall.
Yes, we've seen, you know, another one of the Masters class drivers, Tom Gradwell, running very well in 16th, currently up 12 places. Really good showing from him tonight.
Gradwell
as
is our defender Masters champion. He ran really great last season, super steady. You know, if he wasn't winning, he was, you know, always running up toward the front.
It's locked in a massive battle right now. We've got all the way from Bill Pichek in 12th down to Paolo Breen in 18th. All these cars all lined up now, and you can see there on screen, just locked in a train. And as at the front of this little train right now, we've got Nunez. He's gone up the inside into turn 1. Can he get the move done? He can. That is the position that takes him up to 12th place. And Bill Pichek needs to be careful right now so he doesn't leave himself vulnerable, because Jamie McGuinness is looming right behind them and looking to, well, McGuinness himself having to go a little bit defensive there and just cover off the line of the advancing Jacobson right behind them. Just head down into the 2nd to last corner now. This was a bit of a tricky corner to look out of, especially if you're on a single monitor, which some of our drivers are. It's where the benefit of having either triple monitors or a VR headset really comes in, because you can look out of the corner and really maximize your exit. As Nunes just looking a little bit twitchy as he came around the last corner there, Jonathan.
A little twitchy, but no, that's okay. It's okay. He's still moving. Last time around, he was a 104.32. Pike was a 105.20, so nothing too much to worry about.
No, definitely not. Just sort of looking up and down the field right now, we've got a few more battles as well happening. Stevie Ray's looked in a bit of a battle as well with Simpkins right behind him, who's looking to launch a bit of an attack there into turn 4 and really applying the pressure to Stevie Ray.
I think you can apply the pressure to the series organizer. You just can't turn him or wreck him. So I think that's kind of the policy.
Do you think it's worse turning and wrecking your teammate or the series organizer?
I think it's the series organizer. But one thing, Tim, is that this is one of the cleanest series you'll see. You'll see it's everyone's friends. They all get along. There's a lot of banter that goes on between the drivers. So looks like Tom Bradwell jumped into the pits at the end time zone. But everybody gets along. This is everybody has fun, gets along, but races hard, and most importantly, clean. As I mentioned, pits. Our leader Aronam has jumped into the pits, so he's the first of the big guys to make the call and see where everyone else falls.
That means that now David Bohm takes the lead of the race tonight temporarily. There's no just into the pits there. Be interesting to see where he comes out, and also in relation to this battle obviously that's up front. Then when obviously after they've taken their pit stop, can Nomi extend his gap even further, or can the guys who are behind him maybe pull off some crafty pit strategy and close that gap up? Because obviously after Uselli had his earlier incident, Gnome just off in a class of his own right now, and was heading off well into the distance, especially as there was the battle behind him. So he's come.
Gnome's going to jump up in 7th spot, so he's in a pretty good place.
Yeah, he's come out ahead of Zorek, which is ideal for him. He's tucked into a nice little pocket. Dantas ahead. There's almost into the pits there from the lead. So I think we can definitely say that the pit window is well and truly open for our drivers right now.
Yep, Aeronom's starting to try and see what West does. David Baum for sure. That's what Uselli will do. Net, since he was running so well, had that spin, so he's gonna try to stretch as long as he can.
And Arlo into the pits as well. As you can imagine, Gnome is currently running out in front in terms of all the drivers that have taken a pit stop. Behind him, it's obviously Bowman and Castro are the two drivers who have also taken their pit stop. But can Bobby West, who's currently in the lead right now, can him and Fritzsche work together and really pull out some epic lap times and look to make the jump through pit strategy? They've got a nice clear track ahead of them. They've got a few seconds before they come up onto those back markers. I'd imagine, imagine West especially won't want to be defending too much from Fritzsche. But equally, the American will be wanting to make up a place and really cement his chances of finishing on the podium tonight. Yeah, he's dropped a little bit, probably further down. He's just headed out right now. That's going to... John Payne's managed to get ahead of him in terms of the pit stops. So Castro not having maybe the best in-lap by his own standards. But Jamie McGuinness, what a race from him tonight. Up 12 places. Also, Bill Pichek ahead of him, up 15 places. Although
Jeff Jacobson, 21 spots. He's the high climber for this one.
Yeah, it'll start to even itself out a little bit there. Oh no!
We've done
Just
it again.
crazy. This, and there we go. The commentator strikes yet again. So that's going to really hurt McGuinness. Especially, a few cars he's lost a few places, and obviously McGuinness yet to take his pit stop. So that means he's going to drop even further down after he does head to the pits and takes his mandatory pit stop. But Bobby West out in front right now. He's extended his gap over Jeff Richer in second place, who's now got Naselli for company tucked up right behind him. Naselli on that recovery drive after that earlier spin where he was locked in the battle for the lead with Gnome. Be great to see if he can recover any more places. The top 5 yet to take a pit stop, being with 22 laps completed now, being West, Richer, Naselli, Shuk and Dantas, the Brazilian. Then Nomi's up into 6th place right now.
He's going to
currently
traffic, but he's already taking his pit stop.
Yeah,
this is your typical aeronom race the way it's currently playing out with a little over 15 minutes left to go.
He's running it with true German efficiency there as he had to take evasive action to get around a spinner there. I think was that Peter Mirashek that they're just spinning out. I'm not too sure who it was. I couldn't quite catch who it was. As no whistle past them with a bit of luck and evasive action there, Jonathan.
Take a look down, a little bit down the RC what battles we have going on. Solid battle for 20th here.
We have also Naselli and Shuk are in and take their pit stops, leaving Bobby West still out up front with Fritcher and now Dantas up to 3rd place. But those top 3 yet to take their pit stops. And you're saying, obviously, sorry, before I cut you off there, that battle we had going on a bit further down the field involving Stevie Ray. He looks like he's dropped a place or so.
He's taking on Endello right now.
Yes, he's also got Steven Nelson for company behind them. Race, look at Mice, remain to the outside, and they're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Just have Elsa just having to back out a little bit there, but Stevie Ray has lost 2 places in 1 corner. That's cost him dearly there, and maybe Jonathan just regretting not covering off that inside line.
Yeah, maybe not, but you know, Stevie's a great driver. I'm sure he'll figure it out and maybe find another strategy. Frischer entered the pits, and now he's leaving.
So that just leaves
West and Dallas.
It does, yes. That's brought him out. Interestingly, Jeff Richer, he's come out behind Naselli, and also David Bohm. He's managed to really extend that gap between those guys. He's got Doty behind him, but Doty yet to take a pit stop. But the gap between him and Naselli, who is effectively in running order in 3rd place, if you allow for all the pit stops, there's a 5-second gap between them. So Bohm really having some good quality laps over the last few there, Jonathan.
Yeah, Bohm's a very fast driver, as we've seen over the past few seasons. I'm really intrigued to see what he does. Can he catch up? Who's going to run into traffic? Looks like Aeronom just passed Dantas. So Aeronom, who took the pit stop earlier, is currently 2nd on track. Bobby West still leads, and we're still waiting for Bobby West to pit. So what's he going to do? It's a 15-second gap right now. So what's West's strategy? Does he have to come in the next 5 minutes or so?
Yeah, it's definitely running out of time. Maybe just trying to run 2 stints, almost, you know, burn off all of that fuel.
And
then here he comes. And then just look to run his second stint with a really light car and make up some time there, where obviously drivers have pitted earlier, so we've had a heavier car for longer during the race. Well, here comes Naomi. He's just coming round that last corner. Out onto the start-finish straight. West is still in his pit box. You can see him still sat there as he now exits. And Bohm, he's headed in front as well. So we've got Noam Bohm ahead. A German 1-2 right now. And Bobby West has managed to leapfrog himself up into third. But Naselli, what a recovery drive from him. Up into fourth after that earlier spin, which put him all the way down in 7th place. The last few drivers just heading to the pits right now. There's only about 5 or so drivers of the original 42 drivers who are yet to take a pit stop.
Jacobson's ducking in, Nunez is ducking in, so a lot of drivers are going for the late stop.
Definitely, we've only got just over 11 minutes left of this race. And it's definitely been an eventful one in round 1. It's got Dirty. He's under attack from Fisher there. He's in the middle of this car, free car battle. So in front of this free car battle, he's also got Shook. I think that's behind them. Dirty, the highest runner of the drivers, yet to take a pit stop. It'd be interesting to see where he comes out after he's taken them.
He's also our Masters leader, too.
He's some considerable distance as well by looking at the next Masters driver would be Antonio Reese down in 20th position. So Dirty having a really
Stevie Ray is actually.
Oh, next, yeah, sorry, I missed Ray there. Apologies about that to Stevie Ray. Don't want to be offending the series organizer in the first round. That's the last thing you want to be doing, but Ray just yeah, like I say, he's at 2nd place within Masters, so it'd be interesting to see where Dirty, after his pit stops, come in. He's got around about a 30-second cushion down to Stevie Ray. Dirty now heads to the pits. Who could be the fastest of the 2 pit crews? He's going to have to, he'll obviously stopping later, he'll have to take on less fuel compared to what Stevie Ray did. Stevie Ray taking a very early stop around lap 9. We're currently on 29.
And
so can Dirty get the
where
jump?
does Doherty come out? That's the other question.
30.
So Ray's on the back straight.
So looking at the sort of the pit lane times, it's around about the 27-second mark. Here comes
Doherty.
Ray.
Doherty's coming out.
You can see just in the background there is Ray, but that looks like it is done. And excellent pit strategy there from Ed Dirty, the American, really playing it well there. Some solid laps combined with having to fuel less as well has played absolute difference tonight, and he's come out 4 places ahead of Stevie Ray.
Great driving strategy by Ed Doherty. Well done. Well done. And just want to jump up to Spec 2 right now. And Dudu Castro he's got a little bit. He's got some distance. He's fairly comfortable. Not too comfortable, but comfortable enough here as he's got Dantas behind him and Paulo Bremi. So 2nd and 3rd in class are not too far behind.
No, and Dantas has managed to close that up, because before the round of pit stops, Castro was running in about 5th place, and Dantas has made up a few places after between all of the pit stops. Dantas stopped a little later. He stopped 5 laps later compared to Castro, and obviously that less time within the pit lane has really helped Dantas and to elevate him up through the grid. Just looking at it, we've only got 3 drivers yet to take a pit stop. They are leaving it a little bit fine, that being the 2 Italians in 9th and 10th, Paolo Bream and Alessandro Ida. And then we've got Simpkins, I think he's just taking pit stop, and neither has Ian Gibson, actually, the Brit, down in 19th. The two Italians clearly working together tonight. They've been inseparable all night, really, of these two. As they come round the final corner, and looks like they're going to be going round again. Their cars must be running on fumes almost now, Jonathan.
They got to be going next time by. There's about 30 minutes of fuel time in these cars, and we don't start exactly green flag at 000, so it's got to be next time by, because if not, he's running on fumes. Clearly running on fumes.
Maybe potentially some fuel-saving techniques from the two Italian drivers to help extend their stop, do you think?
I don't know. I want to see how it plays out. Everyone has their own unique strategy.
Looking at it, so within about 30 seconds roughly, it will take them to, I don't know, be less than that for these drivers, because it'll literally be a splash and dash to get them to the finish. And as you called, Jonathan, here they come. Line astern into the pit boxes. Well, the pit lane first of all, then their pit boxes. And it's really, really tight. And oh, you see there that Bream, he's got it all over the back of him. It's trying to almost push him along to go round that pit entrance a bit quicker. It's a really, really tight, nasty entrance, I tend to find, at Tsukuba.
Oh, and we got a battle here for fourth. West and Naselli.
Well, West was looking in a really, really good shape for last place on the podium, but Naselli has managed to, well, nearly squeeze past us. They're going to go too wide into the last corner. Hold tight, everyone. Here we go. And
Naselli's going to have the advantage.
So he's got it. As Westy's looking to get him on the undercut and fight back into turn one. I don't think he's going to be close enough, but he's not going to stop him getting him go. As Naselli shutting the door on West there. Bobby West just losing out. Naselli clearly getting the better drive out of the second to last corner. With the driving we've seen from Naselli, I think it's going to be Westers with just over 5 minutes left to go. He's going to have his work cut out to get hold and get that place back off Naselli.
Yeah, I think Bobby should just settle for fourth at this point. We saw how fast Naselli was early in the race. He had that one little mishap, but so I think just at this point, Bobby, great job. A fourth will go a long way throughout the series.
Definitely. Just having a little bit look further down the field. I think Antonio Race, he's looked into a bit of a battle right now.
Look at this.
Wow. All over each other are these guys. You've got Stevie Ray at the front of the queue. The Portugueseman Race behind him, and then the Brazilian Andalo just sat behind them, just hoping to try and pick up the scraps from these two. As I said, they've got under 5 minutes to go. We're going to see some drivers potentially making some more bolder moves as the time starts to run out for them. And it is getting really, really close right now. As we ride on board with Antonio Rice. Really, really see him utilising the slipstream and really closing up onto the back of Ray. Who's going to get the better exit off the last corner? As you just see Jude Simpkins on the inside, heading to the pits there, but here comes Antonio Rice. And he's going to take it up the inside, but Stevie Ray's not giving up without a fight, as he's taken the slightly wider line and carried so much momentum. Absolutely brilliant defensiveness there from Ray. Wow, Jonathan. Absolutely stunning defensive masterclass here from Ray right now.
Yes, this is the type of racing you get all the time up and down the tower here at Weekend Warriors. So I'm glad you got you're breaking your Weekend Warriors duck with your typical race with pit strategy, guys racing up and down the timing tower. A lot of fun, 3 classes going on. You know, get ready for the next several weeks of this.
It's going to be an absolutely spectacular season with some brilliant tracks lined up over the course of the next 12 weeks here on Apex Racing TV. And it's going to be absolutely spectacular. And even if it's half as good as tonight, you know we're going to be in for a great night of racing at each of the rounds. As we just got less about, I'm just trying to see, that's number 40 there, just heading to the pits, leaving incredibly late. Talked about the two Italians earlier on. Brahim and Ida just almost running the car on fumes, but they've just been running even. I dread to think what they're even running their car on, but out of front right now, Aeronome, the defending champion, just heading out into the distance, managing the traffic to perfection all night. Got a little bit of luck, you could argue, earlier on when the Selly had that altercation with the back marker that they were coming through, but it's been a flawless drive from Gnome tonight, Jonathan.
This is your copy and paste Aeronome drive, very much so. You know, this is what he does. He starts first or second, you know, hangs in the top 1, 2, and then does a great job on pit strategy, and this is what he does. And then he'll probably come in and tell us that he's not a huge fan of the car. You know, it's you know, we saw it. It was funny because we had the runoffs last week, and Aeronome dominated the runoffs, won by I believe 10 seconds, and then told us that he didn't like the car. I mean, he's not a big fan of it. So it just wow. it cracks us up. And let's just see if he can hopefully navigate this traffic pretty cleanly. You know, he does have a 3-second lead, and we have about maybe 2 laps to go. 2-3 laps to go?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, probably where he is on track now, I would say he will, it's going to be close, yeah, probably be about 2 laps left to go. Maybe including what he's on right now, because where he is on track, we'll find out very, very shortly, but he's got a battle going on ahead of him. He has got, this is going to get tight as there's 2 battling cars just... they've spotted him by luck and have allowed him through. But while this has been going on, the trouble to navigate the lap traffic, it has allowed Bohm behind him to catch up ever so slightly.
And Bohm's gonna have to navigate this as well. So he's got those cars that Gnome just got through. So, and I don't think he'll have enough time. I think we're going to see a non-Bohm Nazelli 1, 2, 3.
I was thinking that
actually
early,
maybe not, because Bobby West is
he's fighting back
on Nazelli's tail.
He's ever since Nazelli got past him around about 4 or 5 laps ago. West hasn't. He stayed with him. He hasn't let him get away at all. And Nazelli's one of the stronger drivers within the championship, and West is really, really fighting for his life here right now. Staying on to the coattails of Nazelli. Not letting him get away. You can see they're coming up to a whole bunch of traffic. I get the feeling that this last place on the podium, it's not definite yet. Well, maybe it is. I think this is going to be that. Yeah, they're going to come across the line. I timed it wrong in my head. There we go. West ran out of time.
I thought we were going to make it one more lap, but...
clearly not. So, no, is your Vince
tonight. The Estonian beast has won again. It may say German on his flag at points, but we all know Aeronome is from Estonia. And he is taking another fantastic win. Dugu Castro is going to be our Spec 2 winner.
Interesting. There's still a battle going on further down the field between Dirty, Ray...
This is your class win. This is for the class win right here.
Oh,
right on the inside.
Almost close, banging towards into the last corner. As Dirty Ray just sneaking past at the depth there and nicking the place off Dirty. Wow. Right, Stevie Ray, it just goes to show. Well, you should not give up until you've crossed the finish line, because you get moments like that happen.
As we see our Antonio race about to cross, another great run for Antonio. Always good to see him run well.
Now you may well see in the background, now everyone's come across the finish line, that a few of the drivers start, you know, nudging each other, to put it politely, as they have their traditional Demolition Derby style race.
I'm wondering where
What's
it is.
I'm gonna guess they seem to be queuing up somewhere around the start. There's the back straight. So we see Gibson.
there we go.
There we go. There we go. Coming in for a nice big thud.
So let's
as
bring up the
we'll,
results.
So Aeronome, flawless race for him tonight. Finishing in first place. Bohm joining him on the second place in the second step of the podium with Naselli. What a recovery drive from him to come home in third place. Bobby West so close to Naselli, almost getting onto that podium, but comes home in fourth. Fritzsche is in fifth to round out your top five. Schuch comes home in sixth. Castro top within Spec 2, comes home in seventh place. Then we've got Dantas Mishurik in ninth. Stevie Ray just squeezing in at the final corner to take home that last slot in the top 10. Dirty will feel a little bit aggrieved and unlucky there to be finishing 11th and obviously second in Masters. Then we've got Andalo in 12th. Gradwell is 13th. Rodriguez is 14th. Antonio Rice comes home in 15th. Then we've got Vogel in 16th. Elson 17th. Cox, great surname, someone we didn't really actually mention too much tonight, has finished in 18th. Then we've got Simpkins in 19th. Ian Gibson comes home in 20th. Then we've got Breen in 21st. Pijek in 22nd. Jamie McGuinness, who earlier spin that cost him so dearly, finishes in 23rd. Jacobson is in 24th. John Tusting, the Brit, in 25th. Nunes comes home in 26th. Favini in 27th. Jonathan Mino, the Argentinian, in 28th, and is the first of the runners that are 2 laps down. Then we've got Jin in 29th. Kern in 30th. John Payne comes home in 31st. Then we've got Longlin. Comes in 32nd. Alessandro Mina in 33rd. Bradshaw's 34th. Santiago is 35th. Jeff Cantor comes home in 36th. Sean Vogel's 37th. Panero is 38th. And then we've got Alex Rogenbuck, coming home in 39th. Carr in 40th. Dobek 41st. Stephen Mitchell's 42nd, and Marcel Kepper rounds out the standings in 43rd.
So we have a couple people that want to talk to us. So I'm going to drop our winner in Aeronome. And Tim, if you want to take it away and talk to our winner, the Estonian beast, Aeronome.
Wow. Aero, welcome to the commentary box. And obviously, reigning champion from last season, and obviously you picked up 2 other championships back in 2018 as well. How are you feeling after tonight? Round 1, 1 victory, 100% record so far in the season in terms of race victories. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I wasn't sure I will win this race. I think Maruccio was much faster, but he had the problem. I actually had almost same problem with the same lap car, but it was tricky.
Yeah, we were saying beforehand, earlier in the race, that lap traffic could play a large part of the story tonight. And obviously with Naselli, he fell victim to the lap traffic, unfortunately for him. What was shaping up to be a great battle for first place. Until that happened, were you feeling comfortable in first place, or were you feeling pressure from Naselli?
Yeah, I think the first 10-15 laps I was taking quite easy, but when I tried to push, the opposite happened and Maselli was faster, so yeah, it's really difficult.
So next week we head to Road Atlanta. How are you feeling about that one?
Oh, it will be much more passing, I think, in the draft. Depends if it's the long track or short track, but yeah, I think there will be much more passing.
Brilliant. Lovely. Thanks very much for your time, Aeronome, there, your race winner.
Thank you, guys.
That was our winner, Aeronom. And speaking of winners, we have with us right now our Masters class winner and series organizer, Mr. Stevie Ray. Stevie, congratulations on a fantastic victory.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a close one at the end. I didn't think I was going to get that one.
So take us through your last lap. That was really thrilling.
Yeah, I could see Antonio was having issues, and then when he pulled off, I was really surprised. And then I thought, well, he's out of gas. And then Ed had some damage, apparently. I didn't know. I thought he was fuel saving. I saw us catching up to him pretty good the last couple of laps. And when I got inside of him, I could see some damage on his front. So that was a fun finish.
Yeah, definitely a really fun finish. So it's a new season, a lot going on. What's your thoughts on the newish car, I guess we'll call it? We had a major overhaul last season. This season adds a little difference to it. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this season it was more graphical. They got rid of the air intakes on the sides and changed the rear end a little bit on the body. So it was more of that. The new damage model makes a little bit of difference with flex or whatever. It handles slightly different, but not a whole lot. The biggest difference was the upgrade to the Gen 3 last season with the new engine and the sequential transmission. So I'm excited. It's a lot of fun. I've talked to several real world guys who have tried it out and say that it drives really close to the real thing now. So I'm really happy that they can use it as a tool as well.
Excellent. And before we let you go, is there anyone that you want to thank?
Oh, got to thank RaceVoice for sticking with us. I think it's been about a year now. They've been with us and supporting us and making sure that we could share the broadcast with our family and friends and for you guys and a great broadcast every week. It's a lot of fun. So most of all, the guys on track. This league would be nothing without those guys on track every week. It's a camaraderie. It's a good group of guys, a lot of fun, and they make it what it is. So I appreciate everybody involved.
And, thank you for all you do. You put on, this is a fantastic series. It's a favorite amongst us here at Apex Racing, and look forward to the rest of the season. Hopefully this is just the first of many exciting races.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Stevie. Wow. What a race. And as Stevie mentioned, the series is sponsored by RaceVoice. They're proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Weekend Warrior Spec Racer Ford Racing Series, where you can take your driving to the next level with on-track audible performance alerts with RaceVoice and RaceVoiceSIM. It provides stuff like being able to hear miles per hour, turn entry, exit speeds, upshift alerts, and other performance metrics, which can be configured and selected by yourself. Now, if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening here on Apex Racing TV, you can do so by heading across to either Twitter, where we are at Apex Racing TV. That one always catches me out. Facebook, we're facebook.com/Apex Racing TV. And Instagram, you'll find us on there on Apex Racing TV. Just a few things that are coming up on the channel. So literally in around about 3 hours time, you can check out the XSR NASCAR Next Gen Cup, which is coming to you from the iRacing Super Speedway. That's going to be a really, really good one. Then tomorrow night, it's ARL Formula V Series, round 7. That heads to Charlotte. And then in 2 days' time, we've got the Rickmatek Classic Sprint Series, round 8. Heads to Alton Park. So they race the MX-5, so it's sure to be some absolutely great racing there.
Yeah,
well,
I work on that series. It's a barn burner. It's a real, that's a real barn burner, especially at a track like Alton Park.
It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Jonathan, what was your favourite moment from tonight?
Oh man, I mean, you have to go with Stevie Ray. I know we talk about Stevie and the great job he does, running the series, but to have a last lap pass like that, to start off the season. Kudos to Stevie and Aeronom, as we'll say it again. We said it tonight. We'll say it over and over again through the season. He's the Estonian beast for a reason. He just, everyone's gonna have to tailor their race to him. How do you beat this guy? So I mean, that's gonna be the storyline going through the season. Who can beat Aeronom?
I think, that is definitely going to be one of the large stories that plays out throughout the season. For myself, I think a big shout out needs to go to Jesus Rodriguez. Finished in 14th tonight, but gained 19 places to the Iberian. An absolutely spectacular drive. Just to put that into context, the next closest to him was up 13 places. That was Peter Mirashek, who finished in 9th place in the end. Oh no, sorry, it was Tom Gradwell. I lied. He just finished in front of Rodriguez in 13th. So some real great races from those drivers. I think a few of them might feel, a bit further down, from caught up in those early accidents, might feel a little bit grieved. But yes, I think there's all to play for next week. So we will be back in a week's time as we head to Road Atlanta. It's going to be another night of great racing here in the SRF Weekend Warriors series. From myself, Jonathan, and everyone here at Apex Racing TV, goodbye.